What is going on, my crazy 76er fanatics? Guys, thank you all so much for stopping back in for another daily pod with your daily 76er discourse, discussion, and information for all of you who've liked, who've subscribed, who've watched. Thank you all for helping us climb that subscription ladder. Each and every one of you guys, you matter. The viewers, the watcher, the commenters, all of you guys matter. Thanks for helping this channel grow. And guys, we got to talk about it. He's back. You know what I'm talking about. That demon, that beast, the beast in the East, Joel Embiid. He's back. And it seems like he's back. He's better. And the rumors are he's happier than ever. Joel Embiid and the Sixers know what they're doing, all right? The Sixers Instagram team, the Sixers social media squad, they know exactly what they're up to. They release key information in key and pivotal moments. So, guys, today, I got to talk about what happened yesterday. First off, it's Joel, it's Embiid, and he's back on the court practicing with the team. One video is all a Sixer fan needs to put a smile on his face in the morning and the afternoon, and that's when Joel is putting in that work, guys. Joel was scrimmaging with the Sixers squad, and of course, guys, when you see Joel on the court, full sweat, against other NBA players, you already know he's got to be dominating. That's just what he does. If Joel Embiid isn't dominating, he's frustrated. If Joel Embiid isn't dominating, he's probably sitting back down so his body can come back around. But the fact that Joel Embiid is on that court, and the fact that they feel comfortable releasing the footage of Joel Embiid not only in practices, not only in individual workouts, but now in scrimmages, guys, he is ramping up and amping up to be ready for the start of the season. And the best part about that practice video, everybody's there. I mean, they've been releasing videos sporadically, maybe every 3 days. But in these videos, guys, everyone seems to be there. Joel's there. He's working out on court. Maxi's there. He's leading on court. VJ Edgecombe is there. He's working extremely hard, rocking championship belt, championship merch. And if you know the insides of Sixers training camp, the belt holders, they're the special ones. They're the hardest workers. They're the ones who made the most jump shots. They're the ones who competed at the highest level. The belt holders are the ones that you got to watch out for next practice, because next practice, people are coming to reclaim the gold that you have on. And right now, it seems like VJ Edgecombe is one of the hardest workers in these workouts, one of the hardest workers in these scrimmages, in these practices. But the best part about it, guys, is that Joel Embiid is also taking part in these scrimmages, in these practices. And if you can have your MVP back on the court sooner rather than later, what do you expect for this squad, guy? Championship squad it could be, with a championship team, because you have an MVP in Embiid. A healthy Embiid is a top 5 player in the NBA. Not even debatable. Not even questionable. A top 5 player in the NBA is Joel Embiid when he has 1.5 good knees. If you give him 2, he's an MVP every season, guys. Or at least he's a runner-up to Joker when the West Coast and when people start voting, he's a runner-up to Joker. He should have won those MVPs, guys, and you know it. We all know it. But this practice footage is great to see for Sixer fans. You got your man back on the court. You got Tyrese Maxey leading the workouts. The only problem is Sixer fans and the Sixer Instagram team, they know what they're doing. They have not released any scrimmage footage. They have not released any live footage. They have not released any on-court work of Paul George. You can see Paul George doing some spot shooting, maybe some form shooting. You can see Paul George putting in work with the weights, lifting the weights, trying to be great. But you can't see Paul George developing chemistry on court, training, practicing, which leads me to believe that, guys, everything that you're reading, everything that you're hearing is absolutely true. Yes, Joel Embiid has been relentless this offseason, this summer, getting his body in shape, getting his mind right to make sure at the start of the season he can play at a high level of basketball. That has not been said about Paul George. There has not actually been any good discussion around Paul George's recovery, around Paul George's health, and around Paul George's current status or current playing status. There's just been hope about what he has been, what he could be, what he has done in the league. So what's going on with Joel Embiid is he's getting ready for the season. He's amping up to be there at the start, and maybe not at the first 5 games of the season, but being there for the first few weeks of the season. And even though he's building chemistry, He's building comfortability. He wants to be a Sixer, guys. At the end of the day, you know someone wants to be a Sixer when they're pushing themselves to the limit. And Joel Embiid, whether it's health, whether it is money or wealth, Joel Embiid will do whatever it takes to be a part of this team. He's taken less money before. He's played injured. And right now, it seems like he's dedicated to making sure at the start of the season he's there, or at least close enough to get ready for when the season is amping up. Joel Embiid is putting that work in, guys. And the best thing about it is everything you're hearing about Joel is great. Everything you're hearing about Paul George is questionable. So just giving you guys the update between your two stars, giving you guys an update between what's going on in Philadelphia. And here's what could have happened in Philadelphia. Okay, what the heck is Ace Bailey doing? Apparently, Ace Bailey released his agent, Omar Cooper, who was Sharif Cooper's uncle or father. Ace Bailey knows this guy because he was his trainer coming up. And Ace, who truthfully is, in my belief, going to be great, one of the greatest NBA talents in the league, I think he's starting to realize, yes, he could be a once-in-a-lifetime talent, or he could be a one-in-a-million NBA player, because the NBA waits for no one. This league is cutthroat. This league is ruthless. And to be great in this league, you got to be willing to go through the steps in the process of greatness. What that means for Ace Bailey is, guys, you got to take these meetings. I think now, realistic, I think now, as the season's gearing up, as things are getting closer to the start, he's realizing that he's in Utah. There ain't much in Utah. There ain't much in Utah, guys. This is why Utah struggles not only to acquire free agent talent, but to keep free agent talent. Because once you get the money from Utah, you're trying to figure out how you ball and get traded. That's what Rudy did. That's what Donovan Mitch did. And truthfully, it has a little bit less to do with the team, the construction, and the winning culture. It has a lot to do with the social life, the aspects after basketball and outside of basketball. And of course, guys, like, Utah just isn't a big market. You're not going to make as much money playing for Utah as you could have played for. You know, if you look at the Ace Bailey situation, we can just go through the list of teams that he had the option of going to. Sixers, Charlotte. You'll make more money in Charlotte. You'll make more money in Utah or in Philadelphia than Utah. And then after that, of course, Ace Bailey was trying to control his destiny and slip through the cracks and make it to the Wizards at 6. Make it to Brooklyn. Realistically, though, guys, your agent who has NBA ties, who has familiarity, that's a tough word I couldn't get through, but basically has relationships with NBA owners, relationships with other NBA officials, aficionados. They could have told you, Ace, there's no way you're going to drop lower than 5. There's no way you're going to drop lower than 5. A real agent in the NBA who has relationships, who has close ties and close knits with owners, who understands how to have these conversations behind closed doors, who's not going to ask for money just for interviews. They're going to set their client and their agent up, or they're going to set their client up for the best position, because as an agent, you know that money's coming back. That money's coming to you. You're not going to try to milk every dollar and maximize every dollar, every money move while they're the hottest commodity. You want to keep that client hot as an agent. And I'm just saying, guys, Ace Bailey, Omar Cooper, they were just money hungry, which is why Ace Bailey now is looking at his lifestyle, looking at the money he's going to make, and looking at the potential restricted free agency that he's going to have to sign with Utah. Guys, he's going to be in Utah and could be in Utah for like 6-7 years, regardless of if he likes it or not. That is where the whole getting rid of his agent comes from. That's where the whole debate comes from. And that stinks, because I would have loved Ace Bailey on this roster. Any competent agent would have said, you're not dropping past 5. Danny Ainge and his son, they know what talent is once in a lifetime opportunity. They understand where they're drafting and who they'd be drafting. And Ace, truthfully, you're the best player by miles at that 5th position. I would have loved Ace to take one of these last roster spots. The Sixers do still have one roster spot wide open. Technically, they have 2. I'm assuming one does go to Quentin Grimes. So technically, they have 2 roster spots still open. And if Quentin Grimes gets the one that we're all expecting him to re-sign restricted free agency, who will get that last roster spot? Daryl Morey's done it once. I think Daryl Morey will do it again, and I think he's comfortable because he's done it before. He thinks he's going to start this season with an open roster spot, because the free agents that are being signed are free agents I think Daryl Morey was trying to keep in mind. Thomas Bryant just signed with the Cavs, so he's no longer a potential backup big this team could sign. Malcolm Brogdon signed with those New York Knicks. Not saying Malcolm Brogdon was another guard we've been looking at, but I mean, acquired talent, veteran talent, proven point guard play, something this team may have looked for, especially later down the road. think the best thing for the squad right now is potentially leaving that roster spot open, seeing if they can get a tradable asset, maybe trading one for two, trading Andre Drummond later on, maybe trading Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry. Who knows what they've been promised on the back end? Who knows what they've been promised up front before the season starts? But who knows if Daryl Morey is going to fulfill those promises and keep them? Because as James Harden said, Daryl Morey's a liar. If Daryl Morey's going to keep on lying, hopefully he's lying for the betterment of the city, for the betterment of the fans, and for the betterment of the team. The biggest concern, though, with leaving that roster spot open is that the more you leave that roster spot open, the less talent you acquire right now, the less talent you're going to have when the season starts, because these guys are signing. These guys want jobs. You're looking at Thomas Bryant signed with the Cavs, again, Malcolm Brogdon. The Sixers were able to get Imani Bates, guys, on a Exhibit 10. And truthfully, as any fan, you missed out on Ace Bailey, you probably should be going to get Imani Bates on a full-time contract. Because Ace Bailey is a 6'9", 6'10", shooting guard who can make any shot, take any shot. Imani Bates is the same makeup. And truthfully, with the NBA experience, the NBA tutelage, and the NBA weight regiment program that Imani Bates has been on, maybe he's more NBA ready right now than Ace Bailey, guys. That last roster spot is a hot commodity. Because not only are there a lot of young players like G League stars who could potentially be NBA rotational pieces, there's some backup bigs out there that are now signing and not sitting any longer waiting to see what Daryl does. Ben Simmons is out there. Russell Westbrook is out there. Seth Curry, who's expected to sign with the Golden State Warriors. Technically, guys, he is still out there. There are a lot of great players. DeAnthony Melton still out there. There are a lot of great players who potentially fill some holes, fill some roles this team still needs. But that last roster spot is probably going to be wide open as the season starts and as the season progresses, just so this team and Daryl Morey has flexibility, has options, and has leverage. Interesting to see, guys. I mean, if you think they're going to sign someone, if you think they're going to find someone, leave a comment and tell me who. Who do you think that last roster spot goes to, guys? I can't imagine we start the season with a full squad and that roster spot is used. Unless Eric Gordon is just released and let go, dead money, dead cap. Unless Kyle Lowry is given the same, maybe a job in a coaching role. I cannot see that last roster spot being used, especially when you're giving two roster spots to veterans that you don't expect to play. But like, comment, and subscribe, because I would love to hear what you guys think about this conversation, and especially about that last roster spot. My guy, O, I can't say your last name, O, says Knicks is going to be a problem. And he's worried about Cleveland and the Magic. And I'll say one thing about the Knicks being a problem. Did you know that Karl Anthony Towns is already having issues with his health? Karl Anthony Towns is already having issues with his health. Apparently, he's injured already. He had knee surgery, finger surgery, things that he were denying, and things that we cannot confirm on the front end or on the back end. But we can say that Karl Anthony Towns always has issues with his health. Karl Anthony Towns always has issues with his defensive effort. And a Mike Brown-led team, we're just not sure how far Mike Brown can lead a team. Because of finals and a championship, that's not on Mike Brown's resume as a head coach. So those are the things that we're interested in. And I love your comments, guys. I love your comments. So like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I see James saying, I think you're wrong about VJ and Jarrett will be on the floor together. If you put VJ and Jarrett McCain on the floor together, that's a lot of lack of experience on the floor at the same time. And from the point guard position, you need point guard play. You need true point guard play because the best teams have the best point guards. The Thunder, the Knicks, Dallas was good when they had Luka and Kyrie. Now the Lakers are great because they have Luka and LeBron, who are two true big point guards. James Harden led his team with the Clippers. Every great team in the playoffs has a real good guard, a true good guard. If you're putting VJ and Jarrett McCain on the court at the same time, it's just a lot of lack of experience, and it's a lot of rookie and young player mistakes that are going to be made. Personally, I like to see Tyrese Maxey lead those squads. I like to see Quentin Grimes lead those squads. I like to divvy up the VJ Edgecombe, Jarrett McCain minutes just based off of experience and just based off of NBA exposure. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment or two. We read more than a few, guys. We read all of your comments, and we will get through more of this Sixer discussion. As the season ramps up, guys, we will keep amping up with more Sixer discussion, discourse, and dialogue, guys. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing.